Do we need to share? No? All right, so today we are still talking about all of those angle pairs that we learned yesterday, but we are going to talk about what happens when my lines become parallel. So the first theorem that we are going to talk about is the alternate interior angles theorem. And that theorem says if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, the key being those lines have to be parallel. Okay. Parallel lines, that's the key. Then each pair of alternate interior angles is congruent. So if my lines are parallel, then my alternate interior angles are congruent. And then it even gives an example in the picture. That is not the right picture. Let's scratch that example out. I did not notice that was not correct. Give me one pair of alternate interior angles in that picture there.
4 and 5.
4 and 5, and then what else? 3 and 6. So I could say that angle 3 would be congruent to angle 6, and also angle 4 would be congruent to angle 5. And that's if my lines were parallel. They don't look parallel, okay? But if I were to tell you that those lines are parallel, then your alternate interior angles would be congruent. Now the next section, we have a little bit of rewriting to do. But this one starts the same. This is the same side interior angles theorem. And this says, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal again, then each pair of, scratch out the word consecutive. That's what the book calls these. I call them same side. That to me is easier to figure that out. So scratch out the word consecutive and write same side interior angles. Okay. But if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of same side interior angles are, should say, I need fix a lot of typos in here, supplementary. And again, scratch out those examples because I apparently have the wrong picture here. I need to edit this bad. Okay, so we fixed a few things in this first, or in the second theorem. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of same side interior angles are supplementary. Looking at my picture, give me a pair of same side interior angles.
3 and 5.
Okay, so angle 3 and angle 5 would be supplementary. What's another pair? 4 and 6. And angles 4 and angle 6 would also be supplementary. Also, again, because this book doesn't mention same side exterior angles have the same relationship. They are supplementary. Okay. The way you can remember it is same side is supplementary. SSS, same side supplementary. Then we have one that talks about alternate exterior angles. And again, it starts out the same. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then each pair of alternate exterior angles is congruent. And again, those examples are not matching my picture, so scratch those out. Give me a pair of alternate exterior angles in that picture.
8.
So angle 2 would be congruent to angle 7, and also angle 1 would be congruent to angle 8 if my lines were parallel. A special relationship also exists when the transversal of parallel lines is a perpendicular line. That's what we should be filling in next, perpendicular line. And that special relationship says in a plane, if a line is perpendicular to one of two parallel lines, then it is going to be perpendicular to both. I'm going to explain that in that picture in just a second. Okay? If a plane, or I'm sorry, in a plane, if a line is perpendicular to one of two parallel lines, it is going to be perpendicular to both parallel lines. So in this picture, if I had just marked that as a right angle and I did not mark the other one, first of all, do you see these little arrows right here on these lines? Does everybody see those arrows I just pointed to? Those are the documentation or the markings that let me know that those lines are parallel. So anytime you see little arrows, like not on the ends of the lines, but somewhere on the lines, it's telling me those lines are parallel. But if I were to tell you that line A were perpendicular to T, and I know that A and B are parallel, then we would also say that it has to be perpendicular there. And just remember that upside down T means perpendicular. And perpendicular lines form what kind of angles? Somebody said 180. If lines are perpendicular, what kind of angles do they form? Right angles. Okay, so just a little how are we missing? I need to redo these notes altogether. We're missing something. So we talked about alternate interior angles. We talked about alternate exterior angles. We talked about same side interior angles, and we talked about same side exterior angles. We also talked about yesterday corresponding angles, which are not on my list. Okay, I don't know why they're not there. I need to fix that too. But what happens when you do stuff quickly is you don't catch your mistakes. If your lines are parallel, okay, if your lines are parallel, these relationships happen. Alternate interior, alternate exterior, and corresponding angles are all going to be congruent. If my lines are parallel, same side interior and same side exterior are going to be supplementary. And we need to know that because we're going to be finding missing angle measures based off of having parallel lines and transversals. Okay, so what three are congruent? It's up on the board. What three are congruent if my lines are parallel? Yes, alternate interior, alternate exterior, and corresponding. And then which ones are supplementary? Same side. All right, so let's take a look at this next one. It says cross ties I and K. Can everybody see I and K in their picture? Does everybody see I and K in their picture? Okay. They are parallel. And it says both cross ties are intersected by cross tie H. Does everybody see cross tie H? Where we're looking at angles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. It says the measure of angle 1 is 42 degrees. Here's angle 1. Whoa, sorry. Here's angle 1. Does everybody see my 42 degrees that I just wrote? Okay. It's wanting us to figure out what angle 7 is. So what I need to figure out is 1 and 7. What kind of angles are they? Are they alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding, same side interior, same side exterior? Alternate exterior. So if angle 1 is 42 degrees, what would angle 7 be? 42 degrees. Okay, I didn't really have to do any work. I just have to be able to identify what type of angles they are and then remember these two things. Which ones are congruent, which ones are supplementary. Everybody okay? All right, let's take a look at this picture. It's giving me the measure of angle 1 is 65 degrees. And it's basically asking me to find all of the other angles, correct? Okay, so what I want to do is I want to talk about this because you will have something like this when we take our test on this section. Okay, remember we're doing our 9 weeks test first, but when we take a test on this, we are going to have a problem similar to this. Because it told me right here. Okay, quick question. Looking at your picture, are my lines parallel? Yes, because they have those little arrows, not on the ends, but they're on the insides. So, alternate interior angles, alternate exterior angles, and corresponding angles are all congruent. Same side interior, same side exterior are supplementary. But to be completely honest with you, I don't really have to use that in the beginning. What other type of angles do we see in here? Do we have any vertical angles? Yeah, okay. Do we also have some linear pairs too? So let's start with just the top part of this. Which angle is vertical to angle 1?
3.
Vertical across from angle 3, right? Directly across from angle 1? 2 is next to angle 1. 3 is across. Make sense? What do we know about vertical angles? They are always congruent. So if angle 1 is 65 degrees, guess what angle 3 is? Okay. Now let me ask you this. 1 and 2, what kind of angles are they? A linear pair, and linear pairs add up to be 180. So can I figure out what angle 2 is? 180 minus 65? What'd you say that was? 115. All right. And if angle 2 is 115, what other angle at the top is going to be 115 because it's vertical?
4.
Now, Amir, you just said angle 8 is 115 as well. Why? No, that's fine. But why is 8? Why is 8 115 as well?
Oh, I just matched it up with 1 and 2 at 8 and 7.
Okay.
Is there corresponding?
Well, 2 and 8 would not be corresponding, but 4 and 8 are corresponding. Yes. What are 2 and 8? Alternate exterior. Either way, they're both congruent, right? So 8 is going to be 115, which means what else is 115?
6.
And so what do you think angle 5 and angle 7 should be?
65.
Yep. Okay, so there's a bunch of different ways you can go about this, but I can tell you this. The numbers are going to be the same. You're only going to have 2 numbers when you fill out these questions like this. Okay, the top will match the bottom. But take a look. Aren't 4 and 6 alternate interior angles? Yep, and they're congruent. So are 3 and 5. What about 3 and 6? Those are same side interior, which makes them supplementary, right? 115 and 65 adds to be 180. Okay, so there's a bunch of different ways you can figure this out. We're going to have to do this on the test, but now we can go in and fill in our answers. What did we say the measure of angle 2 was?
115.
Okay, and angle 3?
65.
Angle 4?
115.
Angle 5?
65.
6 is 115. 7 is 65, and 8 is 115. Okay. The next example, we have to figure out what x is. So it says the measure of angle 3 is equal to 4x plus 7. And the measure of angle 6 is equal to 5x minus 13. I need to use those 2 angles to figure out what x is. You have to decide what kind of angles are they so that you know if they are congruent or if they are supplementary. So looking at your picture, look at angle 3 and angle 6. Are they corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior, same side interior, same side exterior? Alternate interior, which means they are congruent. So to solve for x, I'm just going to set those two things equal to each other. Yes. So we're going to go 4x plus 7 equals 5x minus 13. Finish solving those for x for me, please. What'd you get? X equals 20. I want you to do the same thing for B. You're still looking at that picture. This time we're talking about angle 8 and angle... Ooh, we're going to have to talk about this one together. Sorry. I thought you could do this by itself, but I think we're going to need to talk about it. What two angles are they giving us?
8 and 3.
8 and 3. So what I need to look at are angle 8 and 3. Are they corresponding angles?
No.
No.
They're not any.
Are they alternate interior?
No.
Are they alternate exterior?
No.
Are they same side interior?
No.
Are they same side exterior? No. So, let me ask you this. Which one, if I know that angle 8 is 68 degrees, okay, that's what they told me. What other angle would be 68 degrees that would be close to 3?
5 and 2.
Number 1, or 5, or not 2, but 4. But we'll go with number 1. Okay, that was the first one that said those are alternate exterior angles, correct? Does everybody see that? Okay. Now, if I know that angle 3 is represented as 3y minus 2, what do 3 and 1 give me together? 180. So I want to take angle 3. Whoops, that was angle 1. Either way, angle 1 and angle 3, I want to add them together. And I want to set that equal to 180. Okay. I had to figure out some sort of relationship because 3 and 8 were not any of my angle pairs, but I could figure out one that is an angle pair with 3 and move it around. And we should be solving this for y. I'm going to first combine my terms together, that positive 68 and that negative 2. That is 3y, and that's going to give me positive 66 equals 180. I'm going to subtract. Was that 114? Did I get 38? Yeah. Okay. So again, you're going to have to look at your pictures. You're going to have to decide what pair are they. Alternate interior, alternate exterior corresponding, same side interior, same side exterior. That tells you what their relationship is. They're either congruent or they are supplementary. I would like for you to flip it over. I want you to tell me what type of angle pair each one is. Okay, so like angle 1 and angle 5. Which one of the 5 are they? And then what relationship do they have? Meaning, are they congruent or are they supplementary? So I want you to fill in that chart. Name what type of angle pair they are. That goes under name. And then under relationship, I want you to say either congruent or supplementary. What one of the five they are. The five are listed on the board. And then what is their relationship if those lines are parallel? That is also on the board. Same side exterior. Sometimes they include here not any one of those five, but maybe a pair of vertical angles or a linear pair. Okay, so those can also be what you put under a name. What about angle 1 and angle 5? What are they? Corresponding. They are in the same spot on two different lines. If you notice, angle 1 is outside of my two lines. Angle 5 is inside of my two lines, but they're sitting on the same transversal. So you notice they're in the same position, but on two different lines. Those are corresponding. And what do we say corresponding angles are? Mm-hmm. All right, what about 3 and 6? What would those be? Alternate, interior, and what are they? Congruent. 2 and 7. Alternate what? Okay. And what are they? Congruent. What about 6 and 8? Those are, do you notice how 6 and 8 are right next to each other? Those are only on one line. There's not any on the other parallel line. See this parallel line here? Neither 6 nor 8 are on that. 6 and 8 are right next to each other. Those are a linear pair. Okay, they're trying to trick you with that one. And what do we know about linear pairs? Are they congruent or supplementary? Supplementary. And then what about 2 and 3? Vertical, which makes them congruent. All right, last question, and I just told you this answer just a few minutes ago. How many different angle measures, how many numbers, how many different angle degrees are there going to be when you have two parallel lines cut by a transversal? How many different angle measures are there going to be? We talked about it right here. There are just 2 of them, right? It's the same 2 numbers over and over and over again. So the answer to that is 2. When you have 8 angles formed by 2 parallel lines and a transversal, there are only 2 different angle measures in all 8 angles. Anybody have any questions?